This is Sky with Smart Poker Study. If you want to win more poker hands, don't play on a level playing field with your opponents. Instead, use the advantages available to you, namely position, range, and skill. If you have all three, you're unstoppable. Two of them, you're dangerous. And you can actually still profit with just one of them. Let me show you how to use these three advantages. Gambate!
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
Let's dive into the three advantages. First, don't just know them, use them. Advantage 1 is position. The one who acts last post-flop has the advantage. You have more time to think and use HUD statistics to make reads while they think. You also get to see what they do before you have to act. If they check to you, you can choose to bet or check back for a free card. If they bet, you can gain a read on their bet size, and then you can choose to fold, call, or raise them as necessary. Ultimately, you want to play for post-flop position as often as is possible and use it against them. Advantage number 2 is range. The pre-flop raiser has the strongest hands in their range, while the caller doesn't have those hands. They have to contend with your possible overpairs and top pair top kicker, depending on the flop. Now, your stronger range gets even stronger on dry boards. You want to use this to win more pots with aggression. Speaking of aggression, fearful players see those monsters under the bed when you continue firing post-flop. So ultimately, use your stronger range with aggression to win more pots when they don't connect. You can also use it to win more value when they just don't believe you. And advantage number 3, skill. You want to target weak players who make more mistakes in general. Now, weak players have an awesome bet sizing tell. Small bets signify weakness, big bets, strength. When the draw completes on the turn or the river and they bet into you, they most likely got it. And weak players often have an honest street, so you want to target their honest street for easier steals. And ultimately, play as many pots as is profitable versus the weak players and use your skill edge against them. Now let me show you how to use the 3 advantages with focus sessions and a few hand examples. So you want to use what I would call a 3 advantages tick sheet. This is a piece of paper with a pen in front of you as you play. On that piece of paper, you have 4 columns. The number 3 is at the top of one column, the number 2, the number 1, the number 0. These are the number of advantages that you have in the hand. When you see a flop, make a tick mark under the number of advantages that you have. So that forces you to pay attention, and if you count up 3 advantages, make tick marks for them. 2 advantages, 1 advantage, or 0 advantages. The goal with using this tick sheet during a focus session is to get into as many 3 advantage spots as possible. Now I have some example hands from an actual 3 advantages focus session that I played, where I was using the tick sheet as I played. So in this first hand, we have pocket 9s on the button. When we got to the flop, we were the pre-flop raiser or pre-flop 3 better. So on the flop, we have position, that's the first advantage. We have a range advantage because we were the 3 better. And I believe we have a skill advantage. Our opponent has been V-pipping 45% of the time. Playing way too many hands, very difficult to make that profitable. And my read is that he's probably a lesser skilled opponent at these stakes. So we do have right now 3 advantages in this hand. Our pocket 9s sees a flop of ace, king, 7, all hearts. We do have the 9 of hearts for the 4th nut flush draw. He checks to us, and we use our position plus our stronger range to make a c-bet of half pot. We're hoping he folds and just ends the hand. We deny him any equity. And one of the good things too, because I got time while he was timing down, I could take a look at his fold to c-bet. Oh, 2 out of 3. There's a good chance this initial c-bet will win, but I do have some equity in the hand still. Drat, he calls. Probably means that he hits something on the board because he usually folds versus flop c-bets. The turn comes a 3 of clubs, making the board ace, king, 7, 3 with 3 hearts. We still have a 4th nut flush draw plus the pocket 9s. He checks to us, and now this is where some of my skill comes into play. I am going to make a half pot double barrel in this spot, and the reason why is because I am charging him for any queen of hearts or jack hearts or even 10 of hearts that he might choose to call with. By barreling right here, he might even be able to fold a better hand than mine, an ace or a king for a better pair. And even if he doesn't fold those, unless that river really makes a strong hand, he's probably going to check, at which points I can check back. If I just checked on the turn right here, in position after c-betting the flop, It shows ultimate weakness. And he can make the same sized bet, 18 big blinds on the river, and I'm going to have a hard time just calling him no matter what that river card is. So I bet half pot, and he ends up calling. The pot on the river is 74 big blinds, and a 3 of hearts hits, making the board ace, king, 7, 3, 3. With 4 hearts, we hit our 4th nut flush on this paired board, and he checks to us. So I says to myself, self? Using my position and the extra time that I had and considering my opponent and what he called flop and turn with, we have some showdown value here, but if I bet, I'm not going to get a queen of hearts for the nut flush or the jack of hearts, a second nut flush to fold. And I don't really want to get an ace or a king to fold anymore because I have a flush. So I think betting will not get better to fold, and I won't get anything worse to call. So I just check back at this point. He ends up showing king, queen offsuit, no heart for a flop second pair. He gave me nice flop and turn value, and I take it down with my 4th nut flush. The 3 advantages in this hand really helped me to earn a lot of chips, taking down the 70 big blind pot. In this next example, we have queen jack off on the button. We call pre-flop, so on the flop, we are in position on the button, 1 advantage. We weren't the pre-flop raiser, so that's non-existent, but I do believe that we have a skill advantage. One of my opponents is a loose passive fish playing 80% of hands, and the other one is a shorter stacked 86 big blinds. He's the pre-flop raiser. But there's a good chance, just given that he's a short stack, he didn't top off to 100 big blinds, he's probably at least slightly weaker than I am. So with my queen jack off, the flop comes down jack 10-7. I have top pair, good kicker with a queen. And then now the fishy player, who's V-pipping 80%, donk bets 1.8 into 10.5. Now I know what this means from a fish. Total blocking bet. Jack 10-7 with 2 hearts. He easily has a weak pair. He has a couple of hearts for a flush draw. He has a lone 8 or a lone 9 for a gut shot. Or he's just doing a one-time bluff with like pocket deuces. This is such a weak and wide range. I have top pair good kicker. I come in for a raise to 9 big blinds. The open raiser folds, and then the fish calls. Oh, he's sending a little bit of weakness right here, right? Just calling that raise. The turn comes a king, making the board king, jack, 10-7, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. I have queen jack for a pair plus open ender. And once again, he comes out firing 3 big blinds into 28.5. Absolute weakness blocking bet right here. There's no way I'm going to just call and let him set his own price to see the river. I pop it up to 20 big blinds. I'm using my skill edge and my position against this opponent. And it works and he folds. I didn't even have to hit my straight. The 2 advantages in this one, especially that skill advantage, made this a fun and a profitable hand for me. In the next hand example, we have 9-8 suited. We end up calling in the cutoff, going 3-way to the flop. Now, if we think about how many advantages we have, we're in position in the cutoff because the button folded, so we have that positional advantage, but we did call pre-flop. And I don't necessarily know that we have a skill advantage. We're up against a 16/14 open raiser, another tight aggressive, probably reg player like me. So I'm kind of iffy on that skill advantage. So there's only one advantage that I know we have. It's position with the 9-8 of clubs. But the flop comes down king 10-7 with 2 clubs. We have an open ender with our 8-9 plus a flush draw. The big blind checks. The open raiser bets 2.8 into 8. Another weak bet, right? We got a flush draw plus an open ender. We pop that bad boy up to 10 big blinds. The big blind folds. The tight aggressive open raiser just calls. He just called on a king 10-7 with 2 clubs. A super wet board. I guarantee if he had king 10 2 pair or better, a set of 7s, a set of 10s, he would have popped it up. Even the nut flush draw would have likely re-raised. Now, we don't have a made hand. We're 9 high with a couple of draws. But I believe he's weak, so I think I can use my positional advantage and some more aggression on the next street to get him to fold. The turn comes a 5 of diamonds, making the board king 10-7-5, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. We still have our flush draw plus the open ender, and he checks to us. Now, I could check back, see a free river, but no, like I said on that prior street, using my advantages, I read him as weak, so I come out firing 19 into 28. Darn, he calls. Maybe he's not as weak as I thought. The pot on the river is 66 big blinds. The jack of diamonds hits, giving me a straight. On the king, jack, 10-7-5 board, I got the 9-8 for the second nut straight. Actually, the third nut straight. He checks, and I do believe my straight is the best hand at this point. I come out shoving my entire stack 69 into 66, and he folds. Now, I do think that's a mistake. I read him for weak the entire way. He called big bets on the flop and turn. Means he had something worthy of calling, but he wasn't at the top of his range. I should have bet smaller to get some value. But I'm still happy I was able to use my position and some good player reads against this tight aggressive player. So in our last hand example here, I have 8-6 suited in the big blind, and I call the buttons open raise. So on the flop, I'm out of position. I was the pre-flop caller, and I only have 6 hands on this player, and so far he's a 17-17, but there's just really not much to go off of. So I don't 100% know whether or not I have a skill advantage. So we're going to say I have 0 advantages in this hand. 8-6 of hearts. The flop comes down king 10-7 with 2 clubs. I have nothing but a low gut shot draw, right? So I check, and he bets 4 into 5.5. Well, feels like he means business. I don't have any kind of great redraw right here. There aren't a ton of turn cards that I really like. I don't want to check raise. There's not a lot I'm going to barrel on. So the best play, with 0 advantages in this hand, and of course no read, no real strong read on my opponent, I just see a huge bet size 4 into 5.5, I fold. So before we get to the action step, here's some important advice for you. If you have 3 advantages in a hand, play that hand. With 2 advantages, highly consider playing the hand. 1 or 0 advantages, it's probably better to just fold and look for another opportunity. Sometimes you can make those profitable, depending on your hand and depending on what flops out. But do not target the 1 and 0 advantage hands. You must play the 3, and really highly consider getting involved if you have 2 advantages. Now it's time for you to take action. First, like the video if you like the video. Please comment down below and subscribe for more. And now for the real action. Play a 3 advantages focus session. Use that tick sheet with the 4 columns 3, 2, 1, and 0 with the goal of getting into as many 3 advantage spots as possible. I hope you have a lot of fun using the 3 advantages against your opponents, and gambate!